the work around Exide started long before I got to the legislature, but when we got to the legislature and Aliso Canyon happened, there was a stark contrast with how we were handling those situations. And it wasn't a coincidence of who lives where and how we were handling those situations. At that point, the governor had proposed about $9 million towards all of the DTSC budget that would have included all the work we needed to do in Exide and everything else. And I said that it was insulting because it was throwing pennies at brown people. And after that, action changed and we got a $176 million loan from the general fund, a one-time loan. And we were told that that was the only money that was gonna come our way. But we were told there were 10,000 homes that needed to be cleaned up and that cost could be close to $1 billion. My community and I said that we were gonna find a way to make sure that we didn't leave anyone behind. So we were tasked with finding a creative way to make sure we didn't leave anyone behind. And so at that point, we took on the challenge to pass the first 2/3 vote fee in a decade to create the Battery Fee Fund. And thankfully, with the help of staff here, staff in other committees, and our colleagues, we got that passed. And it gave us a little bit of hope of where we're going, and it gave us hope that hopefully we were creating a model for all the other toxics that we have in this community, just like lots of other communities of colors. They are constantly being treated like wasteland. This is just one of many things. In that process, we also discovered that there were at least 14 other legacy sites in the state that needed to be cleaned up, tied to lead batteries, a lot of them near the same community there. And so we realized that it wasn't just the $1 billion or the 10,000 homes that we needed to be working on, but we needed to make sure all these legacy sites were cleaned up along the way. And that's what this battery fee gave us. It gave us hope and a way to make sure that we didn't leave anyone behind now that we were in the right path. Unfortunately, our community feels like we're being assaulted. We feel like our work is being prostituted, in those harsh terms, because we have taken to borrow from this fee for other projects or to keep DTSC afloat. We've been talking about how we have departments going into the red. We've been talking about the structural problems at DTSC. And we've been playing games with the Battery Fee Fund last year and again this year. And there's this sense that we are going to be giving us an additional $50 million loans over 2 years, but really you're not when you're taking $16 million each year from a fund and creating a habit that makes us worry that you're gonna then create a structural deficit within the hard work of our battery fee out there. We looked at this even closer yesterday as we were trying to figure out what's going on. Where is the $16 million? Is this another one-time loan, or is this a continuous appropriation? We saw that at some point because the battery fee fund was going to become insolvent with this practice, that $10 million was being put in from TSCA, another fund we know that's going to be insolvent in another 10 years. So we keep shifting money around. And when you do this, and I go back home and the community activists, rightfully so, Phil, they continue to tell us that these brown people don't matter, that we're going to pretend we're helping you, and we're going to take these victory laps and get these headlines, but you're really going to leave us behind in a couple of years. This process has been hard. It's been hard for DTSC. We're learning along the way. We never expected it to be perfect, but when we see the Department of Finance playing these games, it just adds to our distrust. It continues to make us feel like you're throwing pennies at brown people. You challenged us to pass a fee, a 2/3 fee that hadn't been done in a decade. People thought that was impossible and we're crazy for taking that task on. We did it, and now you continue to pillage a fund. And so I think we need to not just keep this open, but we need to find a way to respect what we told my colleagues, including my Republican colleagues, that was not going to happen, that we were not going to be using this for other things. And so I don't understand why we continue to play these games. And you could help me understand why we're doing this, why we're paying back a general loan, and then you're telling me you're giving me another $50 million loan. Just don't give me any more loans. Use the money and the fee and the battery fee to clean up Exide. And so it just feels like you're funneling money around, you're laundering money around to keep a department afloat that we know is in a structural deficit. And it's really insulting to my community out there. And so I would like an explanation of why this is okay, why we continue to move in this direction. I took a vote last year on a budget that I'm not going to take again this year. And so please help me understand the logic behind this.